Hip-hop beefs rappers regret ever starting. Welcome to Read Know. Today we're listing 5 hip-hop beefs that have seriously damaged the reputations of the parties who allegedly started the feud and for which they must have regrets. Most rap beefs almost always degenerate from light grievances into name-calling, musical disses and clowning on social media. Apart from bruised egos, rap beefs rarely cause any lasting damage to the musical careers or reputations of the feuding parties. On rare cases however, when beefs get really heated and personal, the careers of the deemed loser is negatively impacted. It is even worse when the deemed loser is the one who started the beef. This situation has been known to sometimes lead to outright musical career extinction. Here are 5 hip-hop beefs that the initiators must regret ever starting. The list is formulated based on the following elements: the known causes of the beef, an assessment of the impact on the initiator of the beef, reasons why the initiator should bear regrets. If it's your first time here, welcome. Please subscribe to our channel and give a thumbs up to this video. Number 1. The Ja Rule vs Eminem beef. This beef probably has the stupidest cause ever, as it was totally unprovoked. Before 50 Cent got signed by Shady Aftermath, he had been having problems with Ja Rule for years. He severally dissed Ja Rule and Murder Inc. notably in songs like Life on the Line. That never really hurt Ja Rule at the time because he was the hottest rapper and 50 Cent was just an underground artist. So when Eminem signed 50 Cent to Shady Aftermath, Ja Rule, out of the blue, in a radio interview granted to Hot 97, threatened Eminem and Dr. Dre. He basically warned them not to allow 50 Cent to release any more diss tracks towards him. As you would expect, Eminem didn't take that well, and that's how the beef started. You probably know the rest through diss tracks that both artists would later release against each other, such as Loose Change by Ja Rule, Haley's Revenge by Eminem, Warrior Words by Ja Rule and Nail in the Coffin by Eminem. At the end of the day, Eminem squashed the beef when he released Toy Soldier, but not before causing serious damage to the credibility of Ja Rule as a rapper and Murder Inc. as a record label. Eminem's lyrical performance on his diss tracks was on a level that Ja Rule just couldn't match. In addition to that, Ja Rule was beefing with 50 Cent at the same time, and the whole of G-Unit and D12 joined in on him. This is one beef Ja Rule must regret ever starting, as it cost him his career, and it was all for nothing as Eminem never provoked him in any way. Number 2. The Game vs 50 Cent beef. Game was placed in G-Unit by Dr. Dre as a way to boost his presence ahead of the release of his debut album The Documentary. As support to his fellow label mate and group member, 50 Cent featured on 3 singles from the album and wrote a few hooks too. It wasn't until the release of 50 Cent's album, The Massacre, was pushed back to accommodate Game's album release that tension started brewing between the two. From this point on, it is alleged that Game started discrediting 50 Cent publicly, dismissing his contributions on the documentary album and sabotaging the promotion of 50 Cent's album. As you would expect, 50 Cent didn't take this well, and responded by dismissing Game from G-Unit on live radio in 2005. That's how the beef officially started. You probably know the rest, as over 100 diss records have been released in what's fast becoming one of the longest feuds in hip-hop. Even though the two have since seemingly made peace, considering the fact that the beef has caused loss of life, many still believe a rekindle is possible at any time. At the end of the day, despite several savage diss tracks like 100 Bars by Game, Not Rich Still Lying by 50 Cent, 300 Bars by Game and Stop Crying by 50 Cent, the beef didn't quite have a fatal impact on the careers of both artists. However, it seriously reduced the money-making power of Game. In the following years, while 50 Cent and G-Unit stayed successful at the helm of hip-hop, Game struggled with being independent and starting a new label. He even tried severally to squash the beef and call for a G-Unit reunion in the hopes of rejoining the team. His efforts were repeatedly ignored, and when the G-Unit reunion finally happened, Game was replaced by Kid Kid. So even though most people consider Game to have won the beef musically, it didn't help him as an artist, and he must regret ever letting a decision by company executives get in the way of his friendship with 50 Cent and G-Unit. Looking back at his actions, it is possible Game was under wrong advice by his manager, Jimmy Henchman, who thought by beefing with 50 Cent, Game stood a chance of becoming the next big thing in hip-hop. Number 3. The Meek Mill vs Drake beef. Meek Mill and Drake actually started out in good terms, occasionally supporting each other. Drake even featured in Meek Mill's 2012 hit track Amen, and on his 2015 album Dreams Worth More Than Money, on the track Rico. All that was thrown to the trash in July 2015 when out of the blue, Meek Mill put out a tweet asking followers to stop comparing him to Drake because Drake used ghostwriters and didn't make any tweet to promote his album. In this instance, Meek Mill was referring to Drake allegedly receiving help from a ghostwriter named Quentin Miller for the song Rico on Meek Mill's album. In response, Drake quietly released Charged Up, in which he took several bars to diss Meek Mill. Meanwhile, Meek Mill was supporting his girlfriend Nicki Minaj on her world tour and didn't respond to the Charged Up diss. Drake used the opportunity to follow up with yet another diss track, back-to-back, in which many believed he basically destroyed Meek Mill. Meek finally responded a week later with Wanna Know, which many considered weak, considering the double shot Drake had taken at him. You probably know the rest, as it has played out in form of social memes, clowning Meek Mill and an avalanche of Meek Mill freestyles taking shots at Drake. At the end of the day, even though Meek Mill lost the war, both rappers' reputations took serious hits. With the ghostwriter allegations, Meek Mill managed to cast a cloud of doubt over the authenticity of Drake's career accomplishments. Meek Mill, on the other hand, suffered serious damage to his reputation as a street rapper. The credibility of a street rapper lies in his ability to spontaneously attack or clap back at any enemy, and Meek Mill didn't do that. To make matters worse, he eventually broke up with his superstar girlfriend Nicki Minaj, and it is alleged that had to do with tensions over Meek Mill beefing with Nicki Minaj's label mate and close friend. So whether the ghostwriter rumors are true or not, Meek Mill must dearly regret ever starting the beef, as it has cost him so much, while Drake's career has continued growing. Number 4. The Nicki Minaj vs. Remy Ma beef. The feud between Nicki Minaj and Remy is far older than most people realize. It actually started in 2007 with Nicki Minaj releasing the freestyle Dirty Money off her Playtime Is Over mixtape, which includes the line,
"Tell that bitch with the crown to run it like Chris Brown. You won 3 rounds, I'ma need 100,000.
Nicki Minaj never confirmed the rumor that she was taking shots at Remy Ma. Even though Remy Ma felt the line was a personal attack to her, the beef never really took off, as Remy Ma would be incarcerated the following year. After her release from jail, Remy Ma freestyled over Minaj's Truffle Butter beat. She also imitated Minaj's Monster verse during a cypher. For unknown reasons, Nicki took issue to that. In two 2017 tracks, Gucci Mane's Make Love and Jason Derulo's Swalla, Nicki referenced her beef with Remy Ma for the first time since becoming famous. She asserted her rap dominance, supporting her argument by pointing out how poorly Remy Ma's recent album with Fat Joe sold. This, alongside some alleged behind-the-scenes blackballing by Nicki, pushed Remy Ma to release the monster diss track, Sheather. This song was riddled with personal attacks from Nicki's fake rear end to her brother, who has been accused of sexually assaulting a child. Before Nicki could respond, she followed up with another one. Nicki finally responded with few lines in No Frauds, which many consider weak. At the end of the day, the beef didn't quite do any damage to Remy Ma. Rather, she used publicity to make a successful industry comeback. On the other hand, even though Nicki Minaj continued to feature on chart-topping singles from other rappers, her credibility as the queen of rap was seriously tainted. Remy Ma even ended her 7-year winning streak of the BET Best Female Rapper. In addition to Remy Ma revealing several embarrassing details about Nicki's personal life in her diss tracks, Nicki also lost a lot of attention to Remy Ma. This was made even worse by the rise of Cardi B around the same time. So Nicki must dearly regret ever starting it with Remy. Number 5. The Rick Ross vs. 50 Cent beef. In 2009, Rick Ross, out of the blue, released a song called Mafia Music which referenced 50 Cent by his given name, Curtis Jackson. The track alluded to a house fire incident the previous year involving 50 Cent's ex-girlfriend. So Ross rapped about it.
I love to pay your bills, can't wait to pay your rent. Baby mama ain't asking for a cent. Burn the house down, you gotta buy another. Don't forget the gas can, jealous stupid.
50 Cent clapped with the diss track Officer Ricky, in which he made fun of the fact that Ross's drug kingpin persona was fraudulent, and that Ross actually used to work as a corrections officer before he found success as a rapper. The two went back and forth on the internet with cartoons, memes, and more diss tracks. Their camps clashed at the 2012 BET Hip Hop Awards. You probably know the rest, as it has escalated from diss tracks to involving the families of both rappers and even legal action. In all, the beef didn't really have a damaging effect on the musical careers of both artists. However, it exposed Rick Ross as a fraud for giving the impression of a life that he did not live and knew nothing about. For somebody claiming to be a gangsta and drug lord, it can be quite damaging to their reputation for fans to find out that he was a correctional officer. So he must regret ever starting it with 50 Cent, as that cloud of fake will always be around him. Thanks for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Do you agree with the list? Which other hip-hop beefs should feature here? Please subscribe to our channel and check out these other cool videos we know you would love.